Under Pug Studios presence. Pugland. Chapter 1, A Playdate at Zeke's. Jet was a 12-year-old boy with a heart full of enthusiasm for two things, pugs and Nintendo. His room was adorned with posters of Mario, Luigi, and of course, his favorite pug characters. Zeke, on the other hand, was a 13-year-old boy who shared Jet's love for pugs and Mario. He lived in a cozy house with a fun backyard, the perfect setting for a day of adventure. Zeke had a collection of pug plushies that he cherished, and his face would light up whenever he saw one of his furry friends. One sunny Saturday morning, Jet's excitement was palpable as he arrived at Zeke's house for their long-awaited playdate. Zeke greeted him at the door with a grin that mirrored Jet's own. "Hey, Jet. Ready for a day of pugtastic fun?" Zeke exclaimed. Jet nodded enthusiastically. "Absolutely, Zeke. I've been looking forward to this all week." They stepped inside, and the scent of Zeke's mom's homemade Mexican cooking wafted through the air. It was as if the aroma itself welcomed them. Zeke's mom, Edna, was a culinary wizard. She had a warm smile and an even warmer heart. She welcomed the boys into the kitchen, where a spread of delicious dishes awaited them. There were enchiladas, tacos, guacamole, and a mouth-watering array of Mexican delicacies. "Boys, it's a special day, so we're having a fiesta," Edna declared, her eyes twinkling with delight. Jet and Zeke wasted no time digging into the feast. They chatted about their favorite Mario characters in the Nintendo games, sharing stories of their virtual adventures. Between bites of delicious food, they plotted their own adventures for the day. After satisfying their appetites, the boys ventured into Zeke's backyard, where Argo, the pug, awaited them. Argo was a chubby, lovable pug with a penchant for wiggling his curly tail. He was the embodiment of joy, and his playful antics never failed to make Jet and Zeke laugh. The trio spent hours playing games with Argo, from fetch to hide-and-seek. Argo's joyful barks and wagging tail were the soundtrack of their day. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, Jet and Zeke sat on the porch, savoring the last moments of their playdate. They looked at each other, content and full of happiness. "Zeke, this has been the best day ever," Jet said, his eyes reflecting the fading sunlight. Zeke nodded, a deep sense of camaraderie between them. "You're right, Jet. Playdates are always the best." Chapter 2, A Mysterious Land. The day had been filled with pug-filled joy and delicious Mexican cuisine, and as the sun dipped lower on the horizon, Jet and Zeke knew it was time to bid farewell to Zeke's house. They sat on Zeke's porch, savoring the remaining moments of their playdate. But before Jet and Zeke could say their goodbyes, Zeke couldn't resist showing Jet something special. With a mischievous grin, he said, "Hey, Jet, I've got something in my room that I think you'll love. It's a rare Mario figure I've been collecting." Jet's eyes lit up with curiosity. "A rare Mario figure? I'd love to see it." Zeke led Jet upstairs to his room, which was adorned with pug-themed decor and shelves filled with various Mario memorabilia. At the center of the room, on a wooden table, was the coveted rare Mario figure. It gleamed under the soft glow of Zeke's room light, a collector's dream. Jet approached the figure with awe, his hand reaching out to touch it. But as his fingers made contact, something unexpected happened. The figure began to emit a soft, otherworldly glow, and a strange portal materialized around them. In the blink of an eye, Jet and Zeke found themselves in an entirely different place. They were surrounded by a dense, foggy forest, with trees shrouded in mist and an eerie silence that hung in the air. Zeke's eyes widened in astonishment, and he stammered, "Jet, what just happened? Where are we?" Jet, equally bewildered, looked around and replied, I don't know, Zeke. It's like we got sucked into that Mario figure or something." As they tried to make sense of their surroundings, it became clear that they were in an unfamiliar and mysterious land. The forest seemed endless, with no clear path in sight. Panic began to creep into their voices as they called out for help, but the forest remained eerily silent, as if it held its secrets close. With a deep breath and determination in their hearts, Jet and Zeke knew they had to navigate their way out of this strange and foggy forest. Together, they began to walk, hoping to find answers in a way back home. Their adventure in this mysterious land had just begun, and they were about to uncover secrets, face challenges, and forge a bond that would be tested in ways they could never have imagined. Chapter 3: A Land of Pugs. Jet and Zeke continued their journey through the mysterious foggy forest, their footsteps muffled by the thick carpet of fallen leaves. Time seemed to blur as they pressed forward, not knowing where they were headed or how to find their way home. After what felt like hours, they emerged from the dense forest onto a breathtakingly beautiful grassy plain. The sun shone brightly overhead, casting a warm, golden glow on the landscape. In the middle of this idyllic scene stood a pug, not unlike the ones they had at home. Excitement surged through Jet and Zeke as they approached the pug. But as they drew closer, they couldn't believe their eyes. This pug wasn't just any pug, he was walking on two legs, dressed in a king's cloak, and carried himself with an air of regal dignity. The pug cleared his throat and addressed them with a voice that sounded almost human. "Greetings, young travelers. My name is Argo, and I see you've stumbled upon Pugland." Jet and Zeke exchanged astonished glances. "Pugland?" Zeke stammered. "You mean this is a land of pugs?" Argo nodded solemnly. "Indeed, it is. I used to rule over Pugland until a malevolent bulldog named Ben seized power and imposed his rule over our beloved land. Pugland has never been the same since." Jet couldn't contain his curiosity. "Tell us more, Argo. How did this happen, and how can we help?" Argo's eyes brightened, and he said, "I can sense the kindness in your hearts, and I believe you can help us reclaim Pugland from Ben's tyranny. But first, you must see our world, understand our culture, and meet the pugs who call this land home." With that, Argo led Jet and Zeke further into Pugland. They traversed rolling hills and lush meadows, discovering that Pugland was a place where pugs lived harmoniously alongside other animals. Pugs in colorful costumes danced to lively music, while others enjoyed pug-sized treats at charming cafes. Argo introduced them to pug artisans who crafted intricate doghouses and pug-sized fashion, and they marveled at the creativity of the pug community. Everywhere they went, they were met with warm pug smiles and wagging tails. As they explored, Argo explained the deep bond between pugs and their land, the values of friendship and cooperation that had once defined Pugland, and how these values had been challenged by Ben's rule. Jet and Zeke were captivated by Pugland's beauty and charm, and their determination to help Argo grew stronger with every new pug friend they made. Little did they know that their journey in Pugland was only beginning, and that they would face challenges and adventures beyond their wildest dreams. Chapter 4: The Order of the Pug. After a day filled with fun and discovery in Pugland, Jet and Zeke had forged strong bonds with the pugs they had met. The sun began to dip below the horizon, casting a warm, orange glow across the landscape. Argo turned to the boys and said, "Jet, Zeke, you've shown great kindness and courage today. I believe you can make a difference in Pugland, and we need your help more than ever. Will you come with me to our secret base?" Jet and Zeke exchanged determined glances and nodded in unison. "We're with you, Argo," Jet declared. With that, Argo led them to a seemingly ordinary building, but as they approached, they noticed a sign above the entrance that read, "The Order of the Pug." Argo turned to them and explained, "This is where the heart of our resistance beats. The Order of the Pug is a group dedicated to stopping Ben and his bulldog army from further harm to Pugland." As they entered the building, they were met with a sight that left them in awe. Inside, they met Argo's trusted friends and fellow members of the Order of the Pug. First, there was Kit, an ingenious pug engineer with a mischievous twinkle in her eye. Kit always had a gadget or invention at the ready, and she was known for her resourcefulness in outsmarting the bulldog forces. Next was Max, the brilliant strategist of the group. Max had a vast knowledge of Pugland's history and the ancient crystals they needed to stop Ben. His wisdom and cunning were invaluable assets to the Order. Finally, there was Dave, a laid-back pug who seemed more interested in napping than battling bulldogs. Despite his seemingly lazy demeanor, Dave had a unique way of approaching problems that occasionally led to brilliant solutions. Argo introduced Jet and Zeke to the group, and they exchanged warm greetings. The boys felt an instant sense of camaraderie with this pugly team. Argo began to explain the urgency of their mission. "We've already located 3 of the crystals with one of Kit's devices, but there are 3 that we don't know the location of. Each crystal is hidden in a different part of Pugland, guarded by various challenges and obstacles. We need your help to retrieve them. Jet and Zeke listened intently, their determination burning brighter with every word. They were more than willing to join the Order of the Pug and embark on this epic quest to save Pugland from Ben's tyranny. And so, under the guidance of Argo, Kit's gadgets, Max's wisdom, and even Dave's occasional brilliance, Jet and Zeke began their journey to collect the ancient crystals and restore peace to Pugland. Little did they know that their adventures would take them to the farthest corners of this magical land, and that they would face challenges and surprises at every turn. Chapter 5, The Attack. In the heart of the Order of the Pug's secret base, Max gathered everyone around a map that had been carefully marked with locations. His eyes were filled with determination as he explained their next steps. "We've made great progress," Max began. "We've located some of the ancient crystals. One is hidden in the icy expanse known as the Icelands, another is deep within a mysterious cave nestled in the formidable mountain range, and the third crystal lies in Capicho village." Jet and Zeke exchanged intrigued glances, eager to embark on these new adventures to retrieve the crystals. However, Max continued, "The locations of the other two crystals remain unknown, and that's where our greatest challenge lies." As the group discussed possible strategies and scoured the map for clues, a piercing scream shattered the peaceful atmosphere inside the base. Everyone rushed to the entrance, fearing the worst. To their horror, they were met with the sight of Ben's bulldog army descending upon their village. The once serene landscape was now filled with chaos as bulldogs in armor and weapons unleashed an onslaught. Argo clenched his fists, his voice unwavering. "We can't let them destroy our home. To the defense, everyone." The members of the Order of the Pug rallied quickly, using their unique skills and resourcefulness to fight back against the bulldog forces. Kit's gadgets came to life, Max's knowledge guided their strategy, and even Dave found himself reluctantly joining the fray. Amid the battle, as dust and fur filled the air, a figure emerged from the ranks of the bulldog army. It was none other than King Ben himself, a menacing bulldog with an aura of power and cruelty. Argo and the boys locked eyes with the ruthless king, and an unspoken challenge passed between them. The fate of Pugland hung in the balance as they prepared to face King Ben and his bulldog forces head-on. Chapter 6, The Bulldog King. As Jet and Zeke, along with their newfound friends, watched King Ben, a chilling realization swept over them. The stone staff in his grasp bore an ancient crystal engraved in it, one of the very crystals they were seeking to retrieve. King Ben's sinister chuckle filled the air as he taunted them, well, it seems you've come to play. But little pugs, you're far too late." Argo whispered urgently to the boys, "We need to get out of here, now." They turned to make their escape, but before they could take a single step, a beam of crackling lightning shot from King Ben's staff, striking the ground right in front of them. Their path blocked, the Order of the Pug faced a dire situation. King Ben's malevolent magic held them at bay as they struggled to find a way to overcome his power. Minutes felt like hours as the battle raged on, but it became increasingly evident that they were outmatched without the ancient crystals. Argo's voice cut through the chaos, carrying a note of despair, "There's no hope for us without those crystals. We have to retreat." Kit, always quick on her paws, hurled a smoke bomb into the midst of the conflict, enveloping the area in a thick smokescreen. Coughing and disoriented, the Order of the Pug turned and ran, putting as much distance as possible between themselves and King Ben's relentless pursuit. They sprinted across rolling hills and meadows, their breaths heavy and their hearts pounding. When the smoke finally cleared, they found themselves on a vast, grassy plain, far removed from the threat of the Bulldog King. Argo looked around at his companions, determination replacing the despair from earlier. "We may not have the crystals now, but we'll find a way to stop King Ben and save Pugland. We can't give up." As they caught their breath and regrouped on the open plain, the sky above them darkened, and a sense of foreboding hung in the air. King Ben might have the power of the crystals for now, but the Order of the Pug was determined to recover them and restore peace to Pugland. Chapter 7, The Quest for the Crystals. As the Order of the Pug regrouped on the vast, grassy plain, their resolve remained unshaken despite their encounter with King Ben. They knew that to have a chance against the Bulldog King's newfound power, they needed to find the remaining ancient crystals. Argo, with a determined gleam in his eye, addressed the group, "We may have been outmatched today, but we won't let King Ben's tyranny continue. We must retrieve the remaining crystals and restore balance to Pugland." Max, the strategist, spoke up, "We have clues to the locations of 3 crystals, the Icelands, the mysterious cave in the mountain range, and Capicho village. We'll split into teams to retrieve them simultaneously." Kit, the engineer, chimed in, "And remember, my gadgets and inventions will be at your disposal. With a little ingenuity, we can overcome any obstacle." Dave, with a yawn, added, "I'll be here for moral support. Someone's got to keep the base cozy." Jet and Zeke eagerly volunteered to join different teams. Jet chose to venture to the Icelands with Argo and Kit, while Zeke joined Max on the expedition to the mysterious mountain cave. Before setting off, they exchanged encouraging words and promises to reunite soon. With hope rekindled, they began their separate journeys, each team equipped with the knowledge of their mission and the determination to succeed. Team Jet, Argo, and Kit. The Icelands stretched out before them, a frozen wonderland of ice and snow. Jet's breath formed frosty clouds in the frigid air as they embarked on their quest. The ancient crystal's location remained a mystery, but they were determined to find it within this icy expanse. Team Zeke and Max. Deep within the formidable mountain range, Zeke and Max delved into the cave that held one of the ancient crystals. The cave's walls were adorned with mysterious symbols, and the air grew colder and more foreboding with every step. The crystal's location was uncertain, but they had a feeling they were on the right path. While the two teams faced their respective challenges, back at the Order of the Pug's secret base, a sense of urgency hung in the air. King Ben's power had grown, and time was of the essence. The fate of Pugland depended on their success in retrieving the ancient crystals. Chapter 8, Icelands. Team Jet, Argo, and Kit ventured into the breathtaking, frozen expanse known as the Icelands. The landscape was a magnificent blend of ice formations, sparkling snowflakes, and a serene silence that seemed to envelop everything. But they were not here to admire the scenery, their mission was to find the ancient crystal hidden within this frigid wilderness. The icy air nipped at their noses and the ground crunched beneath their paws as they pressed forward. Argo's breath formed frosty clouds as he led the way, his pug determination unwavering. Kit, the ever-resourceful engineer, had her gadgets at the ready, each one more eccentric than the last. She explained to Jet and Argo, "We never know what challenges we might face in the Icelands, so I've brought an assortment of gadgets to help us out." The journey through the Icelands was nothing short of an adventure. They navigated treacherous ice bridges, scaled icy cliffs, and crossed frozen rivers, all while the wind howled around them. Hours turned into days, and their determination never wavered. They knew they were getting closer to the crystal, and that knowledge kept them pushing forward. Finally, as they reached the heart of the Icelands, a glint of light caught Jet's eye. There, nestled amidst a bed of shimmering ice crystals, lay the ancient crystal they sought. Excitement surged through Jet as he approached the crystal. He reached out to touch it, but before his fingers could make contact, the ground rumbled beneath them. With a deafening roar, a giant yeti emerged from the icy depths. "Wow, a yeti! Of course, there is," Jet muttered under his breath, his eyes widening in surprise. The yeti, towering over them, seemed determined to protect the crystal. With a fierce bellow, it lunged at Jet, its massive fists swinging. Jet, Argo, and Kit sprang into action, desperately trying to dodge the yeti's powerful attacks. Kit unleashed a barrage of gadgets, from ice-melting devices to slippery oil slicks, all in an attempt to outsmart their colossal foe. The battle raged on, with Jet and his pugly companions fighting valiantly to reach the crystal. Yet, the Yeti proved to be a formidable adversary, its massive strength and unpredictable movements making it a challenging foe. After a prolonged struggle, the Yeti landed a powerful smack on Jet, sending him tumbling to the ground. Unconscious and battered, Jet lay still, his friends fighting desperately to protect him and claim the crystal. Chapter 9, The Revival. The battle with the colossal Yeti had been fierce, with Argo and Kit fighting valiantly to protect the fallen Jet. But through clever tactics and unwavering determination, they had emerged victorious, defeating the formidable creature. As the dust settled and the once raging battlefield grew still, Argo and Kit turned their attention to their unconscious friend. Jet lay on the icy ground, battered and bruised from the intense battle. Kit's face showed a mixture of relief and concern as she knelt beside Jet. She tried to rouse him, but there was no response. Argo, with a heavy heart, joined Kit in her efforts, nudging Jet gently and calling his name. Argo's pugly face showed a deep concern, and he whispered to Kit, "We can't lose Jet. He's our friend, and we need him in this fight." Tears welled up in Kit's eyes as she nodded in agreement. She knew that they couldn't afford to lose Jet, especially now that they had the ancient crystal in their possession. With their hearts heavy with worry, Argo and Kit began to use the crystal's power, focusing their energy on their fallen comrade. A soft, ethereal light began to emanate from the crystal, surrounding Jet in a gentle, warm glow. Minutes passed like an eternity, and then, with a deep, shuddering breath, Jet's eyes fluttered open. He blinked, disoriented, and then realization dawned on his face. "Argo. Kit. We did it," Jet whispered, his voice filled with wonder. Argo and Kit couldn't contain their joy as they embraced their revived friend. The power of the ancient crystal had worked, bringing Jet back from the brink of unconsciousness. With Jet back on his feet, they held the ancient crystal in their paws, knowing that it held the key to their quest to stop King Ben's tyranny and save Pugland. Their bond was stronger than ever, and they were determined to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Chapter 10, Mystery Mountains. Team Zeke and Max ventured deep into the heart of the formidable mountain range in their quest to find the mysterious cave. The air grew colder with each step, and the towering peaks loomed above them, shrouded in mist. As they explored the rugged terrain, Max consulted their map and the cryptic clues they had gathered. Their search for the cave led them higher into the mountains, and the path became steeper and more treacherous. After a while, as they traversed a narrow mountain pass, they encountered a group of fellow travelers. These travelers were rugged explorers who had spent years navigating the mountains, and they seemed to know the terrain like the backs of their paws. Max and Zeke struck up a conversation, hoping to gather information about the mysterious cave they sought. The travelers shared stories of their own mountain expeditions and experiences. One traveler leaned in, his voice hushed as he said, "There's a cave up ahead that's said to be quite unusual. Some call it the Cave of Whispers. It's rumored to be inhabited by a strange cave monster, a guardian of sorts." Zeke's curiosity was piqued, and he asked, "A cave monster? What kind of creature is it?" The travelers exchanged knowing glances. "No one knows for sure," one of them replied. "Some say it's a massive, shadowy figure that moves with uncanny stealth. Others claim it's a creature made of living rock and stone." Max and Zeke thanked the travelers for the information and continued their ascent. The mention of a cave monster added an element of intrigue to their quest. However, their journey was far from easy. As they climbed higher into the mountains, they encountered a series of challenges: a treacherous snowstorm that threatened to obscure their path, a narrow bridge spanning a chasm that tested their balance, and a maze-like network of caverns that left them disoriented. But Max and Zeke persevered, their determination unwavering. The cryptic clues they had gathered guided them through the trials and tribulations of the mountain range. Finally, after hours of climbing and exploring, they reached a vantage point that offered a breathtaking view of the mountain peaks. And there, nestled in the rocky terrain, they spotted the entrance to the mysterious cave they had been searching for. Their hearts raced with anticipation as they approached the cave, the path illuminated by the soft glow of their lanterns. The mouth of the cave seemed to beckon them with an eerie, otherworldly charm. As they stepped closer, Max and Zeke were on the precipice of a new adventure, ready to uncover the secrets hidden within the Cave of Whisper.